Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to Jack Stocken's Improver class. It's really good to see such a large number of students, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy the class. And a very warm welcome to all those people who can't be here this morning but will watch via replay. Now, as usual, we use the chat box to communicate with the teacher, but if you do have a tech issue, please try using your welcome email, which you would have received just a short while ago, or you can use the click here for support just above where I am now. So I'll get the record going, and without further ado, we will welcome your teacher to the classroom. So there's a few new names I can see there, which is very encouraging. And our usual students, Caroline and Ita. Yeah, it's good to see you all. Okay, so the recording is going, so I'll just let Jack know and we'll get him down here. Right. There we go.
Hiya.
Hello. How are you?
That was a bit wild. I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to this class, transfers.
Such a useful convention, transfers, So some will have done them before. Others, won't have done transfers. So we're going to start them from scratch.
That's great. And it's fabulous because sometimes you have a hand and you hardly have any points, but you can still transfer.
I think that's what's interesting about transfers, actually. It's like a weak takeout, so you can't do them with 0 plus points.
Exactly.
Unlike Stamen, where you need 11 points for any, transfers 0. It's like doing a weak takeout. So yeah, no, we're going to have fun. There's some quite interesting hands as well to look at.
And also, it's really good to get the responses down pat, because you can make a bit of a muck up if you don't get that right.
Yeah, the initial transfer is actually quite easy, but it's the responses after that, Freddie. You're right, the read bit, which we'll be looking at in some detail. So it's transfers are, I'd say, an essential convention. Go alongside Stamen and Blackwood as the 3 essential conventions to begin with.
Exactly. All right. Well, the record's going, so I'll disappear and leave you to it.
Just before you go, I was going to say, Franny, yes, Patricia's noticed that you're color coordinated with your with your. Yeah, I was just saying you're color coordinated with your doggy bed today. Patricia has noticed that.
I have actually behind me. I've got the color coordinated dog. So anyway,
you're all matched up, Franny. Yes. Okay. Well, I'll see you on the other side.
All right. Bye.
Okie dokie. And yes, a warm welcome if you're watching in replay as well. Very much part of our class. Let's get going. And we assume no knowledge of transfers at all. So after pawn opens 1, no trump. If you decide to play transfers, which you should, because almost everyone plays transfers at a certain level. Beginners don't. We don't teach beginners transfers because they may not come back next week. But a bid of 2 diamonds over an opening 1, no trump promises 5 hearts and 0 to 26 points, no upper limit. Okay. And if you bid 2 hearts over 1, no trump, that promises 5 spades, a suit over. Why do we play transfers over 1, no trump? Well, there's 2 reasons. Most often the strong hand is declarer. So the weak hand is on the table and the lead comes up to declarer, which can only be a good thing. The strong hand stays hidden. The 1, no trump opener. And secondly, transfers open up more bidding space. Some hands are impossible to bid if you don't use transfers, as we'll find out in due course. As I say, they're an essential convention like Stamen or Blackwood, so you just must agree them with your partner. Yes, Caroline, we'll be looking at transfers over 2 no trumps as well later on. Also, you should alert them online. you alert your own bids online. But if you're playing face-to-face, so if I was to do a 2-diamond transfer, you, as the partner, would announce it to the table. You'd say transfer to hearts, or just hearts. Okay, so playing transfers, of course, which we are doing from this moment on. I've opened one no trump, 12 to 14. What would you bid with that one there, if anything? First question of the day. Of course, those who are brand new to transfers, there will be some of you in this class who haven't done them before. It'll take a little while to get used to, bidding the suit you haven't got as such. So, what is important though is you want to do a weak takeout. You do not want your partner to languish in one no trump. So you bid 2 diamonds. There you go. Let's just stick there for a moment. So 2 diamonds promises 5 hearts or more. You might have 6 or more. Good. Let's just see what partner might do. So if I was playing face-to-face, I would say to the table as North, transfer to hearts, or just hearts. Okay, so what does North do next, do you think? Hopefully not panic. So 2 diamond transfer from South. What would North always do? Now, if you're watching in replay, what do you think about that? Well, you would always obey the command and bid 2 hearts. Yeah. So what your partner's got, they've got 5 hearts. They want you to complete the transfer, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter if they've only got 2, Joe. Your partner's got at least 5. So that's okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter how many hearts you've got, you just complete the transfer. Yes, you might end up in a 5-2 fit, but if the partner's very weak, you're better off playing in 2 hearts than 1 no trump if South has very few points. That's the full hand, you see. Oh, sorry, that's a slightly different hand. So, yeah. Yes, correct. Mareed just said, I mean, no, it's not a natural diamond bid because you announce it. That's right, Mareed. Or you would alert the bid if you're playing online yourself. Yeah, and everyone plays transfers, so, it's fairly universal. Good. And then just South, it's got a weak takeout, 0 to 10 points. They just pass. But the beauty of having transferred is that North is playing the hand. The strong hand stays hidden, which is an advantage. The high card points, Andrew, will be spread evenly between East and West. They might have about 12 or 13 each. Unable to bid, by the way. Quite often over 1 no trump. Okay, here's another one for you. I've opened 1 no trump. What would you do with that, if anything? It's effectively, Joe. I mean, it'll take you a while to get used to if you're brand new to transfers. And, obviously read the worksheet as well, the notes that you can download. That will help you to see it in print. But basically, we are doing a weak takeout via a transfer. But the advantage of doing a transfer is that the strong hand plays it. So what are we bidding with this one, everyone? Are we bidding 2 hearts? Not a spoiling bid, really, Andrew. No, definitely not. We're not spoiling anything. We're just trying to get to the best contract. Spoiling bids are things like bidding to the level of the fit and weak 2 openers and overcalling, that type of thing. No, we're just bidding accurately. So yeah, showing 5 spades and the point count's unlimited. Again, transfers aren't that easy. It's going to take you a little while to get used to them. those who are new. So let's have a look at the transfer itself. It's relatively easy. You might not agree with me, but let's see how the bidding proceeds. Well, weak hands. There's a man with weak hands. Anyone know what we call that man, by the way? In the intermediate class, I've given him a name. He pops up every now and again. That might be photoshopped, that picture, by the way. Yes, one of two of you might remember what his name is. He pops up in the captions every now and again. Good memory test. Well done. I'm impressed, actually. At least 3 of you remember that he is called Bob. Yeah, Bob's our mascot for weak hands. Right, so yeah, weak hands, 0 to 10, you transfer and then pass. Yeah, weak takeout. Let's play hand 1 on BBO. What do you open on the south hand? 13 points. It'd be unusual not to open one-day trump in the transfer lesson. 5-3-3-2. I would open one-day trump on all 5-3-3-2 hands. You all agree with pass on the west hand? 15 points. Do you all agree with that? Don't have to say. What would, here's a question for you though, just as we move on. What would West do with 16 or more? Just before we move on to North. If West had 16 points or more, what would they do differently? Yes, good. 16 plus, they double for penalties. Yeah, just a little reminder there. Automatic, any hand with 16 or more, double for penalty. North, yes, what do they do now? Let's come back to North. Yeah, 5 card suit or more, we bid. I'm going to alert it here. Look, 2 alert hearts. And what does South do? Opener. They bid 2 spades. They must do. They're being ordered to, not requested. It's a command. Back to North. Well, with 0 to 10, no chance of game, we just pass, correct? Okay, good. So we've done a weak takeout. But the advantage of South playing it is not only the strong hand stays hidden, but the opening lead comes round to the strong hand, which is always a good thing in bridge. Talking of opening lead, what would you lead as West? What would be your opening lead? Quite a tricky hand to lead from. If you're watching in replay, good morning to you. Very much part of our class. You could be watching in the morning, the afternoon, or the evening. What would you lead against? 2 spades. Well, I'm quite impressed, actually. If in doubt, trump about. So all these leads here, 7 of hearts, Queen of clubs, 3 of diamonds, would be leading away from an ace. Never lead away from an ace in a trump contract. If you're leading in no trumps, you'd lead the, 7 of hearts, fine. But well done. And you don't need to go middle up down when it's the trump lead, because you don't need to signal with trumps. Good. Well, how are you going to try and make this contract? I think there's a few various things you could do. You could draw trumps. You could play on diamonds or something else. So we're going to win in dummy. What do you think? What would you suggest? So you've got three options, really. I'll give you the three. You can draw trumps. You can create a void in diamonds in your own hand. Or you can try and set up the clubs, the gold dust. Take your choice. And remember, because it's a transfer, the long trump hand is in your own hand. So effectively, normally you create a void in dummy, don't you? But because we're kind of reverse round, you could create a void in your own hand here and use those trumps, the ace and the queen. But actually, the best line here really is to establish the clubs. Okay. What does West do next, having won the ace of clubs? No, we're not. No, not a reverse dummy. It's not a reverse dummy eater, but it's kind of like a reverse thing. Yes, dummies reverse with declarer because of the transfer. What does West do next? Well, I think Queen of Clubs would just help, declare, create the void. So another trump, I agree with you, Ita, Patricia, and others. Lisa. And what next for us as declarer? Just won the ace of spades. Yeah, let's go back to plan A, which was establishing the clubs. They come back another trump. This is good defense by West, keeping on with the trumps, because they're now drawing two of ours for one of theirs. 2 for 1. We can now rough a club look. There we go. And actually, those two clubs are winners now, aren't they? The suit's divided 3-3. 36% chance. I know Anthony likes his percentages. 48% is a 4-2. So now we come to dummy. But which diamond should we play now, king or jacks? I don't know. So you might think it's a bit of a guess, but I think we've got some clues. Which one would you honestly play? But you need to tell me why to get 2 marks here. 1 mark if you tell me which card. It's slightly easier because you can see the missing cards, can't you? But 2nd mark if you can tell me why you're playing the jack of diamonds, which is right. But why not the king? Morning, Valerie. Morning, Claudine. Lovely to meet you in Crete a while ago. Yes, Ita's got it on the head. So there's a big clue when West led a trump at trick 1 that they probably had the missing aces. Yeah, or at least some of them. So that's why there's no point playing to the kings. They'll just get beaten by the ace. They now switch to a heart. There we go. But we can rough the last heart over to dummy with the king of diamonds and enjoy. Let's just enjoy it for a second because it was quite hard work doing that. The 7 of clubs is a winner, isn't it? They're both length winners. So the losing diamond goes away. Bye-bye. So we have, everyone, just squeezed home in 2 spades. It was hard work. That'd be a great result for us. Normally, if I didn't get a trump lead, by the way, I would probably go with the diamonds, trying to create the void in the short hand. If I didn't get the trump lead, that would be. But the thing, definitely not right to draw trumps on that hand. West didn't double Les in the end, no. I did at one point put double out there, but I was just using it as an example. But I don't like to double one no trump with balanced 15s. Some people do. Right, we are back to the classroom. Lovely to see Les and Pat in our teaching weekend down at the Millstream. Okay, so we've done the week taker. How does the bidding proceed after a transfer if you're very strong? So you've got game points, 13 or more, and a 5-card major. Well, transfer and your rebid would be 3 no trumps. Okay, so this is the slightly harder bit with transfers, how the second round of bidding goes. So I've opened 1 no trump. You've correctly transferred 2 hearts. I've dutifully bid 2 spades. What next for you as South with your 13 points? And by the way, you should definitely all play transfers after today's lesson. Yeah, you might have the odd accident where you get left in like a 3-0 fit or something, but that's life. Yeah, it's worth having the odd accident with a new convention. Yeah, to start playing them. Well, if you'd forgotten to transfer or whatever, you'd have bid 3 no trump straight away. But now, of course, your rebid is 3 no trump. So what you've shown partner is precisely 5 spades, not 6. You'd bid differently. We'll look at that later in the lesson. And 13 or more points. Should we see? And you've given partner a choice now. So North knows that you're 5 spades and bids 4 spades, of course. You wouldn't want to be in 3 no trumps on a heart lead. Generally better to play in the 8-card major fit. There are some exceptions. Good. So is everyone happy with that? I think so. Plenty of examples in the worksheet, which of course you can download at the end of the lesson. How does the bidding proceed after a transfer with an average hand? 11 to 12 points in a 5-card major. Well, similar to what we've just done, but your rebid is 2 no trumps. And there are some average marks. My exam marks would definitely be a bit lower than average, I think. Right, so I've opened 1 no trump. You've got 11 points, so you transfer 2 times. I duty bid 2 hearts. What's your rebid now as South? Yeah, 11 or 12. Let's not dwell on this for too long. 2 no trump. So this is what I was on about. This type of hand, you would not be able to show if you did not play transfers. Yeah. You'd have to bid 2 no trump straight away. You wouldn't be able to show the 5 hearts. So the transfer convention does open up more bidding space for you. And North can now judge the final contract. Should we have a look? So North, opener, now now jumps to 4 hearts. Yes, that's right, Joe. The 2 no trump is an invitation there. 11 or 12 invitation. But North needs to be in game because they got 14 points. And they prefer to be in hearts because they got the 5-3 fit. So that's 2 reasons why they're jumping to 4 hearts here. If they only had 12 or 13 points and 3 hearts, they'd bid 3 hearts. Yeah, and partner would pass. Good, so I hope you're getting the gist of these transfers. let's play another practice hand. On BBO. Not surprisingly, South opens 1 no trump. And North has got 11 points. What do they do? Morning, Caroline. Morning, Sarah M. Marie, of course, in Ireland. Sabine. Morning, Mary D. Brian. Are you relatively new, Brian, by the way? I think you were here last week or so, but relatively new to the class. Valerie's on board. Andrew, of course, did the beginners just over a year ago. Jean S. I'll even alert it, look. Playing online. South bids 2 hearts. I'm going to do that for you because I don't need to ask that question again. They must bid the suit over 2 hearts to complete the transfer. And over to North. What's their rebid, if anything? 11 points. Morning, TJ. Anne R. Fred's on board from Hammersmith. Yeah, said hello. Hello, Tim. I'm not sure if Joe. Noli. Beetle from Norfolk. Like swimming in the North Sea. Yeah, 2 no trump. 11 or 12. So, and precisely 5 hearts. It's a very accurate bid this now. 5 hearts precisely and 11 or 12 points. So what next for South, if anything, with 14 points? Well, they need to be in game with the points, but do we choose 3 no trumps? Prefer 4 hearts here. Yeah, with the Doubleton spade. Yes, I never said it wasn't Patricia. Patricia's saying it's 2 diamond transfer showing 5 cards. Yes. Yeah. 5 or 6, by the way, when they bid 2 diamonds. They might have 5, 6 or 7 hearts even, Patricia. Right, so that's it. Standard lead of top of sequence. Queen promising the jack. Right, we'll never play too quickly at trick 1. My favourite expression in bridge, out of the hundreds of bridge expressions there are. Thinking about whether to draw trumps or not. That's really my main thought. And now I've decided whether to draw trumps or not in my mind. Now we need to decide which one we're playing for the dummy. Do we duck it or do we play the king? I think the question we need to ask ourselves is, do we know where the ace of clubs is? And the answer is yes, because West is well trained, it's a robot, but even an LBO student would never lead from an ace under pain of 5 years in bridge prison with no problem. So we know that the ace, there's no point covering. You know, we cover an honor with an honor about 2/3 of the time, but that's when you're going to promote a card for yourself or your partner. You can't, no hope of doing that here. And what next? Yes, the Queen of Clubs promising the jack, Patricia, yes. And what next from dummy? My duck's over there on the windowsill. I can't be bothered to walk over and get it. Good duck. Slam duck. Yeah, she's looking at me in a strange, bemused way. What's this strange man talking about? Yes. Quack, quack. Marie. And look what happens. We get an unexpected bonus when the ace of clubs has to win the trick. So actually our king of clubs will now be a winner. They switch to dummy's weaker suit, 10 of diamonds. And which one do we play from our hand? Ace, queen, or jack? Try not to look at the opposition cards. What would you play, ace, queen, or jack there? Be honest, what would you play at the table? No, Andrew, I would never lead the queen from ace, queen, jack. No, that's leading away from an ace. Cardinal sin. Yeah, queen or jack here. We must take the finesse. Small heart. Actually, running the 9 slightly better. And from the dummy, well, we don't, because we played the 9, we don't need to play the 10. But we are getting deep with our finesse, yes, not the queen. One or two of you played the queen there. No. And we do need to finesse. So we're going to run the 9. We are finessing both the king and the jack of hearts. Deep finesse. So basically, when you've got ace, queen, 10, opposite 3 little cards, it'll always be right to play to the 10 first. Yeah, it won't always win. You know, of course it won't. But it will win when both the king and the jack are with West. But we managed to get rid of the king there. Of hearts, they come back another diamond. Again, putting in the knave. Which one from the dummy this time? Put in the 10, doesn't matter. You could actually play the queen here, but putting in the 10. Ace of hearts draws the last trump. And we're on easy street now, aren't we? Just cash the winners, which we're going to do. And they're all winners now, yeah. And there we go. Well, East had nothing else to do, Les, actually, there. And actually don't mind creating a void in the long trump hand. Yeah. So, yeah, but we're basically, East was playing to dummy's weaker suit there, diamonds, rather than playing spade. But you don't mind creating a void in dummy when dummy has the long trumps. What you don't like to do is create the void in dummy when dummy's short in trumps, which is normally the case. So we have kind of reversed things round with the transfer. Well done, everyone. So 620, actually, we were vulnerable. Back to the classroom. Okay, so we've looked at weak hands. We've looked at strong balanced hands. What about hands with a 6-card major? Well, you transfer and then rebid 4 hearts or 4 spades. 12 plus points, I'd say. You don't need to have 13 because a 6-card suit is worth an extra point. So, we've got 12 points here. Transfer to 2 hearts. Partners dutifully bid 2 spades. What's our rebid this time? And yes, Caroline, we know that North has at least 2 spades. Yeah, that's the key thing here. They might have 3 or 4, but we know they must have 2. So we've got the fit. Yeah, so transfer, then jump to 4 spades. Okay, how do we deal with a 6-card major, but with around 10 or 11 points? Well, what you do then is you transfer and then just rebid 3 hearts or 3 spades. This is an invitational bid to game, which opener will accept with a maximum and pass with a minimum. It also depends slightly on how many trumps they've got as well. Yeah, that's a factor to bear in. There's an invitation. Look, I think we've missed out on the party, by the way. It was 19th of July, 2011. And we weren't invited anyway. But never mind. We can go to the garden party at Buckingham Palace another time. Okay, so you've got 11 points. So you've transferred. I've bid 2 spades. What next for you as South, if anything? And this is the kind of, trickier side of transfers, by the way. But I think just whilst we're speaking, transfers and Stayman work very well together. But the key thing to remember, so important, is that transfers are for 5-card majors and use Stayman for 4-card majors. Yeah, you could get into a muddle. Some people do. Yes. So effectively, we're repeating our suit, really, aren't we? So 3 spades here shows a 6-card suit because we've effectively repeated, and 10 or 11 points. Yeah, slightly harder, that one. If you're struggling with that one, if you're new to transfers, don't worry. And yes, Caroline, if you've got 5-4 in the majors, Stayman is the preferred option. Do you have a look at there's the answer, yeah. And that's the full hand. North accepts the invitation with a maximum 14 points. And 4 spades is a walk in the park. Just draw trumps, then knock out the ace of clubs. I'd be fully expecting to make 4 spades there. Right, so let's go into stage 2 of the lesson. We've looked at transfers over one no trump opening. They also work in a similar way to an opening bid of 2 no trumps. 20 to 22. So just in the same way, 3 diamonds there would be showing 5 hearts. 3 heart bid would be showing at least 5 spades. And 0 plus points. So what would you bid? Yeah. This is just an example. So we bid 3 diamonds there. Partner bids 3 hearts, and then our rebids just 3 no trumps. But again, we give partner a choice of game. They can either leave us in 3 no trumps, or North would correct to 4 hearts if they had 3 card support or more. And again, we must have at least 4 points to bid 3 no trump here. If we had 0 to 3 points, kind of weak takeout territory, we'd have passed the 3 heart bid. Yeah, so 3 no trumps is 4 plus, because we take the average of 21 for the 2 no trump opener. Let's do play hand 3. Oh yeah, so it's a 2 no trump opener, isn't it? 20 points. And North 11. Yeah, 3 diamonds. I'm alerting it. South dutifully bids 3 hearts. Okay, what next for North, do you think? Having made the transfer. Well, how can we show 5 hearts and 4 spades, everyone? Bit of a get out of jail free card for you. There we go. Would it be nice to show partner, our spades? How do we do that in a transfer sequence? Something we haven't done yet, actually. There's no rush on this hand. So, yeah, we can definitely bid 3 spades. So, when you do a transfer, you're now showing 5 hearts and 4 spades. Okay, you with me? Forcing to game, of course. And what does South do? Opener. They bid 4 hearts. Okay, so anything more for North? Responder. Yes, I think we can ask races now. I think we're in the slam zone. We've got at least 31 points or more, and we've got a fit. So I think we can go on for Blackwood. Yeah, normal Blackwood. Yeah, we're in the slam zone, which is normally when you've got a fit, about 30 plus. Can be less. What's the response? Let's just practice our Blackwood. We're playing normal Blackwood with the improvers. We do Roman keycard with the intermediates on a Monday. Talking of which, Monday, we're doing suit combinations with the intermediates on Monday at 9:30. So very much a lesson you could join in as well. Not too difficult, but very useful. And a week today, yes, we're doing our Black Friday promotion on card placing. So obviously you'll all be here for that. And we'll have some special guests who are joining us just on a one-off basis. Well, hopefully not one-off. The idea is that they subscribe after that. So do recommend that class. I think Bashir is sending you an email, but it's a week today. Try and get your friends to come and watch the free lesson on card placing. We would be most grateful. Debbie, because we're showing our hand, because South as opener might only have a doubleton heart, but they might have 4 spades, in which case 4 spades will be the best contract. So North's just really showing their shape, 5 and 4. Because the heart fit's not guaranteed. So 5 diamonds is 1 ace, 5 hearts is 2. And what next for North? If anything. So yes, a lot to look forward to. But the promotional lesson's fine. It's just going to be exactly the same lesson. Just there'll be more people in the class next Wednesday. Yeah, so now we're missing 1 ace, but we can still bid the slam. And what would be your opening lead to 6 hearts, do you think? The number of leads you could make. You could lead the ace of clubs. Remember, you are allowed to lead an ace without the king and against the slam. Well, not 6 no trumps. I wouldn't lead an ace against 6 no trumps. Could do, but the only problem about leading the ace of clubs is you know that South has opened 2 no trumps from the bidding. They're pretty much bound to have the king of clubs. So by leading the ace of clubs, you will be setting up the king. I actually quite like a trump lead here, to be honest with you. Don't mind the 4 of diamonds, but not a big fan of doubles and leads. I think a nice safe trump here. You don't have to lead the top of a sequence here. When you lead a trump, you just lead a low one. Yeah. Good. Okay, well, interesting hand. Let's see what happens. What's going to be your strategy here? Are you going to draw trumps first or not? Something else? What do you think? What are we going to do? I've kind of made up my mind. Yes, the gold dust. But actually, we can afford to draw trumps first here. Let's do that. We can come back to the diamonds. But let's draw out the trumps. They're 4 and 1. Yeah, not too much of a pain. Important to throw away that 2 of clubs there. Now we get about the gold dust. Let's hope the suit divides evenly, 3-3. Would make our life easier. But no, diamonds are 4-2 as you would expect. Club can go. And what do we do next from Declarer? Played out 3 winning diamonds. So now we ruff a diamond, correct? West is keeping their Queen of Spades guarded, by the way. Important to do that. We come to hand with the Ace of Spades. Play our winning diamond. Again, they have to keep their Queen 10 of Spades, so they throw their club. The club's useless over there. So interesting. We need one more winner, everyone, to make this contract. We've definitely got the King of Spades as a winner. What do you think we do next as how? And remember, West has been playing their discards quite carefully and slowly. So clearly West is in a bit of discomfort. Which card do we play now? The King of Clubs or a spade? What do you think? Looking at them, you're allowed to look at all 4 hands. But yes, we do need to put West on lead. And the only way we can do that, everyone, and we're about to do an end play, by the way, something we cover on the intermediates on Monday every now and again. End play is one of the hardest things to do, as Declare. So we exit with a loser. And then West is now end play to lead away from their Queen of Spades. Yeah, to give us both spade tricks. If we'd have played spades ourselves, we'd have always lost to the Queen. But now we've end played them. We win cheaply with the knave. And that's a really hard hand to play. 980, 6 hearts. Quite fun though, wasn't it? And the bidding was quite tricky as well. Certainly not everyone would get to 6 hearts there in your local club. End play is hard, Claudine. Yes, it's generally the domain of your club expert. Well, not yours personally, but the club expert, yeah. You need to have been playing for many years, really, to suss out what end play is about. Okay, so let's go back to the classroom. Is there a downside of playing transfers? Only one. You can no longer do a weak takeout with the diamond suit. Okay, so it's a very small price to pay. So what would we do with this hand here? Yes, Andrew, you have to have a feeling where the missing cards are. And clearly West was in some discomfort there. And they weren't throwing spades either. So with that one there, Tim, Jane, yes, it's a pass. Rather like when you play Stayman, you can't have two clubs as a weak takeout. Yeah, it's not a big deal. Important, transfers are off after intervention. Okay, so after one no trump double, any two bid of a suit is natural. 5 cards, weak takeout. Anyone remember what the rhyme is? I should probably put the rhyme in there now. What's the rhyme that goes with that? Transfers are off after intervention. But I will put it in for next time. Yeah, you can play Phony Stayman Eater, that's useful. You would have to have a 6-card club suit to do that. Yeah, so well done. Those who are remembering, no convention after intervention. You have to remember to say that the right way around there. Well, I certainly do. No convention after intervention. So what that means is if East bids like a double, so only over one no trump opener. But if East doubles or bids 2 diamonds or something, all bids from South there are natural, showing 5 cards. And I will add that to the slideshow as well. Let's play hand 4. Hang on. Why is that not coming up? Bear with me. I'm wondering why that's there. Let me just have a look to see where the hand's gone. Because that one, oh, hello. Oh, yes, no, we're okay. No, we're okay. We're okay. Panic over. So West opens 1 no trump. And what do you do with the North hand? 16 points. It was a bit wrong in my chart. There we go. Better for next time. Right. So they, yes, double for penalties. 16 plus. What does East do, if anything? 2 points. Let's just remind you, no convention after intervention. Well, I don't think you want to let your partner stew in 1 no trump double. They'd not be happy. Although hopefully they wouldn't say anything. But they'd find it difficult to smile when you put down the dummy and you had forgotten to bid 2 hearts. Also, quite often, if you bid there, which you should, the opponents won't double you in that contract anyway. You'll get let off the hook. South, their turn to bid now, 9 points. Do they do anything? Or not? Interestingly, does South have enough points for game? Knowing that North's got 16 or more. And they've got 9. So it's all very well bidding 2 spades, but partner wouldn't bid again. That would show roughly about 5 or 6 points. And a 5-card suit, of course. But South wants to be in game, so how do they force partner to bid again here? Three spades does the trick. Yes, jumping there in a new suit, forcing to game. And North, with their 16 points and 3 spades, what do they do? They raise to game. Okay, good. So that's an interesting auction there, mainly showcasing the no convention after intervention. I'm just counting losers here because I like to count losers in high-level contracts, as you know. How many losers do you think we've got? A little bit difficult to count them. Yes, Andrew. South would only have a bit of 5-card suit there with 2 spades, yeah. 3, I'd say. Potentially 1 or 2 more in clubs, but 3 on the outset. And what card does East play? 10 or the 2? Signalling a high-low. Good, well done. And a 3rd round of clubs. That's a bit awkward, isn't it? Right, well, what do you think now? From the dummy. East has signified a doubleton, high-low. So we know that they're going to rough. So, and we got a diamond to lose later on, so we do need to trump high, yeah. Well done if you did that. Now, which one do you think? Ace, Queen, or 10? We've used up our King of Spades, which was inconvenient. So I think now we have to finesse the Jack. Yeah, just in case he started with 3 to the Jack. So I would put in the 10 now. Pleased to see it win. And now we don't need to rough a club. We can draw the last trumps, look. We might see if East... Yeah, let's play out the trumps now. Yeah, what should East discard, by the way? The 6 of hearts or the 3 of diamonds? Or don't you think it makes a difference? Well, remember that adage, keep the same length as dummy. So if dummy has 4 hearts, you should keep 4 hearts as well. Right, well, I'm going to play out a couple of trumps here. Just to see if anything comes up. But East is doing really well to hang on to their 4 hearts, so we're not going to make an over trick. Otherwise we would. Ace of diamonds. King of hearts. And they take a heart at the end. So well done, East, for hanging on to their 4 hearts to save the over trick. That's 420, 620 actually. Good. Well done with the bidding there. That was quite a tough hand to bid to. Let's go back to the classroom. Oh, yes. Well, for the more experienced, those who already play transfers, probably. For those who've just learned them, I wouldn't play this just yet. I would just stick with what we call red suit transfers, 2 diamonds and 2 hearts. But for those who are more experienced, what should you play 2 spades as? Because it's now a redundant bid, isn't it? Well, very much teacher's choice. You should play it as a transfer for either minor. Okay? But important, you'd have to have 6 to do this because you're pushing up to the 3 level. So 2 spades is 0 to 10 points and 6 clubs or 6 diamonds. There you go. So you can do a weak takeout in clubs or diamonds, but you do need to have 6 of them. And north, over the 2 spades, must bid 3 clubs. And south either passes, as they would here, or bids 3 diamonds. If you remember just 3 things, Franny, after an open bid of 1 no trump, a response of 2 diamonds shows 5 hearts. You know that already. If you respond 2 hearts, that shows at least 5 spades. And 0 plus points. Remember, transfers are unlike Stamen in that way. Stamen, you need to have 11 points or more. And finally, transfers are off if 1 no trump is doubled or the opponent's overcall. No convention, Franny, after intervention.
That's right.
Oh, well, there we are. So 10:30 exactly, UK time. Good timing.
That was excellent.
I enjoyed that. Just Chris has got a question. Yes, again, for the more experienced. Yes, you should use transfers, Chris, over a 1 no trump overcall as well. Yeah, and Stamen. Yeah. So if I overcall 1 no trump, yeah, Stamen and transfers apply. Just agree that with your partner, though, Chris, and others, because it's not the default. It's definitely the way you should play. Also, if they open a week 2, and I bid 2 no trumps, Stamen and transfer apply. Andrew's going for the worksheet. Good idea, Andrew. Yes, we all. Well, Andrew's only been playing a year and a bit. You know, he did the beginners about a year ago, so he's less experienced than some. Obviously, we've got a wide range of experience in this class. You know, some have just been playing a year or so. Others who might have been playing 50 years.
It doesn't matter, though, does it?
No. I mean, you know, and you know, there's always, if anyone wants to, you know, move on, Franny, they go to the intermediate class on a Monday, which is not that much higher than this, to be honest with you. You know, it's the next step up, but you know, most of the lessons would be suitable for improvers.
Or they can do both.
Yeah, or both. Yeah, some people do. Yeah, it's covered in the subscription.
Exactly.
Now, Franny, I had better get ready for my beginners.
Okay, so we better say goodbye to everybody.
We will do. I mean, actually, I think we had 1 or 2 join us in the beginners actually last week. So if anyone's feeling really rusty, beginners today, it's lesson 6. We're doing finding fits and bidding game. Yeah, so
actually, that's a really good class.
That is like a pivotal lesson, really, isn't it, Franny? I talked about last week.
So good to do refreshers. Not many people do them, run classes like that, so they need to hop in.
Yeah. So, Franny, you better get ready as well. I'm going to get ready.
We'll say goodbye to everybody, and it was a very enjoyable class, and we hope we see them all next week.
Yes, next week, as I say, a week today, we're doing card placing. It's the Black Friday promotional, so that should be fun. We should have a load of extra people coming to join us. And again, thank you for recommending any of your friends to come and have a free lesson next week. Yes, great, Franny. Well, we'll. Tracy might join our beginning. Good idea, Claudine. Yes, she can catch up the first 5 or 6 lessons in replay, and then Tracy can join us live on Wednesdays at 11. But yeah, they're all in the replay library.
We'd love to have Tracy.
Yeah, the more the merrier, as I always say.
Exactly. All right. Well, we'll say au revoir and till next week.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.